I spent $500 on ultra cheap, ultra light backpacking gear to go 361 miles on my first bike tour from Cleveland, Ohio to Toronto, Ontario, Canada. So let's talk gear. Definitely go check out the video if you haven't seen it already. It's posted right here on my YouTube channel. So a couple disclaimers. I may be using the word ultralight a little loosely. Maybe let's use the term super cheap and super light, because what you're seeing today isn't the cheapest gear that you can buy, and it's also not the lightest gear that you can buy. But I think this gear is going to be great for beginners, especially if you're going somewhere between 100 and 500 miles for your first trip. 3 ground rules that we're going to stick to throughout this video are: 1, use whatever gear you have wherever possible. 2, we're going to subscribe to Adam Savage's mantra of buy the cheapest tool possible and use it until it breaks, and then buy a nice tool. Finally, and maybe this should go without saying, we're going as light as possible. So that means if we don't absolutely need it, we're not packing it. As a bonus, all these items are under $100, so can't beat that. We're rocking the Giant Rapid 3, and I've ridden this bike probably about 4,000 miles over all kinds of terrain, and it's never let me down. Got an 8-speed in the back and a 3-speed in the front. So in terms of wheels, we are rocking these 28 millimeter road tires. We definitely could use a little bit more tread. These are pretty bald, but they got the job done. So in terms of general packing strategy, my idea is heavily adapted from Tristan Ridley. So definitely check out his channel. I'm gonna link it in the description. He's got way more experience than me in bike packing. My setup is like a simplified version for smaller trips. So the core idea here is that we've got 2 bags, 1 cargo bag and 1 quick access bag in the front. So our main cargo is a waterproof 40-liter bag supported by a rear rack. And this is nothing special. This is simply the cheapest universal rear rack that they sell on Amazon. And you know what? I think it's worth probably scarfing up an extra $5 because this whole system took way longer to install than it looks. It's really janky, and you're gonna be better off just spending an extra $5 for a better setup. It's very light and it feels somewhat sturdy, but I don't know if I would trust it for a very long trip. Our quick access bag is this really awesome handlebar bag that I got from the Ohio City Bike Co-op. It's got really, really rad colors, and I'm just super happy with it. The idea is that hopefully you're packing everything like your sleep system, repair gear, first aid that you're not gonna need during the day in the main cargo, and then you leave food and electronics and anything else you'd need throughout the day in this smaller quick access spot. So I think there's a ton of different advantages to why you'd want to rock a setup like this. 1, the reduced cargo space really makes you pack what you need and not what you want, but also it's really aerodynamic. Most of the cargo is behind you, shielded from the wind, and this guy isn't generating too much drag. Also, like, frame bags are really popular, but then this guy just becomes kind of like a sail in the wind, so that's not great. I also don't like the idea of panniers that hang on the side of the wheel, because that just makes your whole footprint so much wider, and then you're less agile and the weight has to be evenly distributed. This is just so super simple, and it's really great because once you get to your camp, you can just unstrap your backpack, take it off, and you've got everything in one to-go bag. You also have peace of mind because you know everything's going to stay nice and waterproof in that bag. What's also really sweet here is that this system is modular. So like when I'm biking around, I'm just gonna leave that rear rack on there for utility since it's so light and it adds so much utility. And then this backpack is really awesome. It's great quality. So I'm gonna get a lot of use out of it for not just bike packing, but camping, kayaking, all kinds of outdoors adventures. In terms of handling, I could definitely feel the weight over the back wheel. Since we're only putting 25 pounds in there, I found that it only took a couple hours to get used to the reduced mobility. And a luxury item I packed were these bungees. And something I want to make clear is that these were not supporting the weight of the backpack. I'm actually using the backpack straps itself to secure this to my bike. These bungees were more as a luxury so that I could strap things to the top for even more quick access. This was great when I had trash. I would just stuff it down here, so when I got to a trash can, I could really quickly deposit that and get going without polluting. All right, well, let's go through the individual items now, shall we? All right, so let's talk clothing for a second. The short answer is merino wool. So this is a Merino Tech merino wool t-shirt. I'm also wearing polyester shorts. I brought 2 pairs of socks, both merino wool, one Darn Tough and one Merino Tech branded. I think having that extra pair was really key when things got really wet on Thursday when I rolled into Dunkirk. I only brought 1 pair of Merino Tech underwear, but if you're going for a trip longer than 3 days, I'd probably recommend a second pair. Additionally, I brought a long sleeve Under Armour and a merino wool leggings. If you're not already aware, merino wool is like a magic material, and it keeps you smelling fresh, but also warm and dry in all kinds of conditions. So it's really, really awesome. It's a little bit expensive, but the Merino Tech products seem like they're real merino wool, and they were pretty cheap, so I recommend them. I brought a swimsuit as well, and I planned to use it. I thought I would be jumping in the lake at every chance that I had, but turns out there weren't many opportunities to actually jump in the lake because I was so busy pedaling and pitching my tent and whatnot. All right, let's talk sleeping systems. We got this Alps Engineering Lynx one-person backpacking tent. This tent was $100. I didn't even know they made ultralight tents for $100. Look, this isn't the best tent in the world, but it's super quick to set up, super simple. I feel like the materials are pretty high quality. It is thin, so I'd be careful about where you place your tent as to not get holes. I would not expect this thing to be waterproof at all, but if you're looking for a cheap tent and you don't care about how waterproof it is, this thing is awesome. Next, for a sleeping pad, we have this Once. And this guy, I mean, I don't have a ton to say about it other than it's got a foot pump, and that foot pump is super helpful. I can't even imagine trying to inflate one of these with your lungs when you're tired. Once again, under $100. And is it the best quality? Is it the best sleep you'll ever have? No, but in terms of a sleeping pad, I think this thing is really solid, and I highly recommend it. It did have to stretch out its first day, but on the second night that I used it, it did hold its air the whole night. So I think it's a great unit. We also have, I guess it's pronounced the Krazanki camping pillow. I don't think I recommend this. It didn't stay inflated. I had to wake up like 3 times each night to re-inflate it. But from what I hear, that's really common with these sleeping pillows. I don't know if I had to break it in more, but I don't think I recommend this at this moment. Also, you can't forget the ground sheet. It isn't even the right size. I think this thing hangs out about 2 inches on either side, but I think it's enough to prevent the majority of holes for this thing. All right, so we purchased 2 waterproofing products, and I don't think I recommend either of them. Look, this could be user error, but we did not stay dry. Final items not pictured here is I brought a sleeping mask as well as a emergency survival blanket. You know, it's not luxurious, but it's definitely gonna keep you warm, and it's super light, super compact, and disposable. So let's check out our quick access bag. So in our quick access bag, we actually kept this small 2-liter dry bag that actually came with the backpack. I didn't even know that when I was purchasing it, but this was perfect for our electronics. We've got our charging cables as well as our shocks. I always have a GoPro on me. And finally, we packed 2 of these 10,000 milliamp Veek to MX power supplies. At first, when I was looking for battery packs, I was trying to get something with a solar panel and have like 6 outputs and a flashlight. And don't get me wrong, there's plenty of models where you can buy those things for cheap on Amazon, but I wanted something that I could definitely trust and know that it actually is 10,000 milliamp and that it can fast charge and do all that. So that's exactly what this gives me. Plus, it looks like the Veek to MX is the best in terms of price to capacity as well as weight to capacity. So it's the best in the market right now. Why not support it? It's cheap, like $30. So I packed 2 of these so I could charge both of them at the same time, get double fast charging. In terms of food, what I did is I went to my local Amish discount grocery store and I just loaded up on stuff that I knew I could eat 1,000 calories of a day and not get tired. So this was all kinds of stuff like pumpkin seeds and dried mangoes, dried apricots, protein bars, macadamia nuts and other dry nuts. Yeah, and some kind of electrolyte powder is pretty much essential. I probably should have used about twice as much as I did. I feel like food probably deserves a full video for itself. But ultimately what I learned is that sugar is like the cheat code. It's super easy to digest, gives you plenty of energy, and it agrees with your stomach to a point. If you're eating it all day, towards the end of the day, it definitely starts to upset your stomach, but it's really the move. I think fruits and other like high calorie sugary items are the way to go. You guys saw that I was loving those Twix bars. Finally, a change I'm gonna make for next time is keeping my repair gear up front here because it actually doesn't take up much space. So I brought 2 spare inner tubes and I'm glad I did because obviously we popped one within the first hour. For a pump, I actually ditched my CO2 system for one of these manual pumps just because the size is so small and I know I can rely on this. Only downside is this is actually for a Schrader valve. I have a Presta, so I actually had to get these adapters. So it's not the cleanest solution, but it's so small and so lightweight and trusty and reliable, so I'm gonna stick with it. Finally, we have some small hex tools. This is only half a set. This is the ones that I figure I would need. And then a patch kit. In terms of water, I brought 3 Smart Water 1 liter bottles, as well as a Sawyer Squeeze water filtration system. And I gotta admit, I didn't use this a single time. I actually just filled up at city parks and any kind of public water fountain I could find. But I'm glad to have this as an insurance policy. I brought a little bit of sunscreen, probably just an ounce, squirted into 2 plastic bags to make sure it didn't leak. And I didn't actually use it until I got to Toronto for the beach, but good to have. I also got 1 chamois, and you know, my idea here was it would be nice to have a towel to dry myself off, but I don't want it to take up a ton of space. So I think that chamois really does a good job of serving that purpose. When I do these outdoor adventures, I always like to keep some extra plastic bags on me because it makes for easy waterproofing solutions. And of course, we brought some toiletries. So I brought a little bit of toilet paper just in case, my toothbrush, toothpaste, some painkillers, some Band-Aids, gauze, really simple stuff like that, alcohol pads, because some of these items would feel like $100 bills if you're in certain scenarios. Once again, plastic bag for compartmentalization, but also waterproofing. So I brought 1 really cheap steel core bike lock, and this thing isn't gonna hold up to really sophisticated attacks or like a pair of cable cutters or something. But really, I think this is all you need for a quick trip, especially since you're gonna be near your bike the whole time. You just need this to slow someone down who wants to steal a bike. Ooh, I almost forgot about lights. We got a rear and a front light, both USB-C rechargeable. So this is the GoPro Black 10 and a chest strap. I think the chest strap gives you superior views and it's very comfortable. So it's really great. Yeah, and the way that I handled this is I kept it in standby mode. So you can put it in standby mode where it automatically turns off after it's done recording. And when you press the record button, it turns back on and starts recording. So doing that, I could just keep the GoPro on, and anytime I saw something cool, every 2 or 3 minutes, I'd just turn it on, take a quick 10 to 30 second clip, and then I'd turn it back off. And doing that, I found I could keep the battery going for like 6 to 10 hours. So I had 2 batteries and I was able to make that work for the full day really easily. And that is pretty much it. You don't need a lot of items. You don't need to spend a lot of money to go bike packing. But if you're ready to go on your bike packing trip, you've been thinking about it for a while, just go for it. Use the bike that you have, get whatever tools that you need on Amazon, and make it happen. If you're serious about bike packing and you want to stick around, you can always purchase better gear in the future, and then you'll know what you need. Anyway, thank you guys for watching this video. I'm gonna have a new video coming out on my routing strategies, so stay on the lookout for that. If you didn't already watch my journey to Canada, please go stop the video right now and watch that. Subscribe for more bike packing content, leave a like, and I'm gonna pin a comment asking you guys what your favorite kind of milk is. You guys let me down last video. No one commented their favorite kind of milk. There's all kinds of milk out there: chocolate milk, strawberry milk, 2%, skim, soy milk. And you people, I know you people have opinions, so express them. I'll be down there putting my favorite milk, and I hope you guys put yours. Anyway, look out for more bike packing content. This is Joseph Minnick, and I'm out.